about accountability, about concerns over corruption, and ongoing debates about the education system. This conversation couldn't be more. It's more timely because it's now coming in, and that's why we are saying that our most two questions will talk about education, youth and employment, transition and governance, accountability, things like corruption. How will you address all these things? The security questions that is happening in the country and everything that's happening. That's why he's here. I know he want to lead Kenyans, and we're happy to have him. And also, feel free to ask questions, but also be part and parcel of solutions, because we are the voters, we are the bosses actually. So we need to be part and parcel of the solutions when we are giving all these things. And thank you so much, Maverick and Abdi, for that. I want to welcome Mutai. Abdi, I'll give you a mic. Yes, Mutai.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This is Mutai, one of the Pressure Point co-hosts. Great to see Maverick and Abdi, my co-host. Today, I don't think I really have much on the introduction, but rather, hey, Miss Yombekura, amenomba follows. Nisisahau hiyo. Na kwa wana Arsenali, poleni sana. I hope that you'll be able to recover and beat Man City so that your stakes irudi vizuri. But anyway, welcome. This is Pressure Point Sunday. We do this every Sunday and every Wednesday. Well, we try every Wednesday. And today we're going to have a conversation with Dr. Matiang'I. And as you have heard from my co-host, my two co-hosts, they've spoken very well. They've introduced him. And I'm just hoping to see how this conversation will go. So myself will just be doing some timing. On the second segment of this space, we'll be able to invite you guys to come in, take the mic, ask a question. But I'm going to allocate each speaker 1 minute, 30 seconds to just ask a question. And please, if a question has been asked, try to ask another one. Don't repeat the question. So to that, thank you very much, Hilary. I can see our favorite listeners. Karibuni sana. We do appreciate you. Asante.
Asante sana, Mutai. Yes, Abdi, you were saying something. Daktari is already here with us. I know in a few minutes he will have a mic. Sema kitu.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. I was just saying as here we await Dr. Mitiangi to join. I think it's important also, as you guys stressed, to acknowledge the depth of experience he brings to this conversation. I think his years of public service have placed him at the center of some of the country's most critical sectors, shaping the policies, strengthening institutions, and navigating complex national challenges. That experience, in many ways, forms the foundation of leadership he now seeks to offer to this country, I think. Also, naturally, in nature, as Maverick put, such record also invite thoughtful reflection on governance, institutional balance, and how best to align effective leadership with values enshrined in our constitution. These are the kind of conversations Kenyans are ready to have and openly. And that said, uh, I welcome him joining us. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Oh, thank you, Abdi. Yeah, Doctor is already here with us. I think it dropped up, but let me check what is happening. I know he's with us. Yes, Dolphin, how are you doing? Good evening.
Good evening, Hilary. Hi, everyone. Karibuni sana on Space. We are usually here on every Sundays, deliberating on the way forward for this country. So I welcome everyone because I'm a member. So I think I don't need to introduce myself much. I'm Dolphin, and I'm one of the youths who is really championing for change and for good governance. Thank you so much, Hilary, and I'm happy
Oh,
to be
thank
here.
you. Thank you. Thank you. We are happy to have you around. Thank you so much. Those who are joining. Daktari, I can see you have a mic. Good evening. How are you doing? Uh, I think he has connection issues. Let's see what is happening. I think he's working on that. Okay, as it comes. Yes. Dr. Kimani, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm well, Hillary. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Also, the panel. I'm good. Sunday is amazing, and looking forward. And for some time, adjustment of the time, I was like, okay, this is a new one, but I'm good to be here. Thank you. And looking forward to the conversation as Abdi has mentioned. And Mota is here, and good to see Maverick too, and Ras G. And Abdi, what's up?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Can
Yeah.
you hear us now? Dr. Fred, can you hear us? Maverick, can you hear Dr.? Okay. I think you still have connection issues. We are trying to bring him on board, and I know he's coming in. Let us see what is happening. You
Let
know,
me let, let me
yes.
check. Let me check with Delilah. For just give me a second as you continue. Let me check with Delilah. If probably they have set it
Oh yeah.
well for the. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Did that. Yes, Bundi. Good evening. How are you doing? It has been a while. Wiki ni mrefu.
Good evening, good evening.
Uko aje?
Yes, thank you, Hilary.
Yes.
Uko poa?
Niko sawa nashukuru.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think this is one of the most forward thinking and progressive discussions that we have each and every Sunday. And hosting Dr. Fred Matiang'I is one of the things that I've actually been looking forward to. And I think today we'll be having a very robust, honest, great, awesome conversation about the very basic issues that are facing us as a country. And I'm hoping that we are going to get realistic, real answers from Matiang'I, because we believe that is a person who is capable and able to transform this country. Asante sana, Hilary.
Ubarikiwe sana. Nashukuru sana comrades for joining, and thank you so much for being with us every Sunday. This is Pressure Point, and we say it the way it is, and also we give way forward. We said that after all these things, then this what we want as a people. These are the way. This is what we will need Kenyans or the leaders to do for us. As they do it, what is our take also, or what are we doing about it? So, as Pressure Point always, we call for action point where where should we react, what can we do, what should we do to make sure things are running. Daktari, I can see you're back. Can you hear us now? NIS wamekuletea shida. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Daktari, I can see you, you are on mic. Mm. All right, wacha waone vile wanafanya, tunashughulika tuone vile itakuwa. Then Ras, how are you doing? Good evening, happy to see you today. Ras G, Ras G amelala,
Yes, yes,
ako
yes.
mbali na mic. Uko aje?
Uh, no, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm very fine,
Yes.
Hillary. Good to see you. Good to see you. I think since you made you declared that you are bringing uh, the good doctor, we think all Kenyans were very eager, looking forward to this particular space. And I'm very sure security operators will try and do their thing. But I'm very sure no matter what, we will have this particular conversation on this particular platform. So wacha watu wakae. Daktari najua atakuja kutuongelesha. Kuna wale wanataka kuuliza maswali, ni vyema vile umesema kwa utangulizi wako. Wacha tukue watu ambao tutauliza maswali maswali ambayo yatatusaidia kama nchi. Tuulize maswali kuhusu economy. Let us be big on accountability. Let us ask questions that will help us. Also, it is also an honor to Pressure Point, because you never know. You might have just interviewed the next president of the Republic of Kenya. So let us seize this opportunity and ask the right questions. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Rasji, for that, and we really appreciate your coming. I see still they're still struggling. There's still challenges of Mike to Daktari. I know there's a lot of issues, but yeah, I know he's coming in soon so that we can start this conversation officially. As Easter since, oh Daktari, before then, Daktari, I can see here. I can see you now. Are you? Are you in a position to hear us now? These people are joking. Hii kitu ilikuwa nafanya kazi, sasa wanasema iwezi fanya kazi, lazima ifanye. Daktari, can you hear us now? All right. He's still working on it. Uh, okay. We can restart that. Let me see what will happen now so that we can go back. Okay. Sawa sawa. Esther Sins, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Hillary. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're okay.
Niko salama. Hope kila mtu ako salama kwa hii nyumba yetu ya Pressure Point. Na Hillary hatuoni do. Kunamuita but mi simuoni. I don't know if it's only me on my end. But hapa kwa utu tunini kwa icon simuoni. But
Alikuwa
I'm well, I'm hoping.
ni vile I think Mike iko na issues, but he will be back. Just drop a little bit. Yes.
Yeah, I'm really eager to hear from him. I'm sure we have a lot of questions and we are eagerly waiting for his responses. Thank you so much, Hilary, Maverick, and everyone in the house, Abdi, Mutai, Naomi, Dolphin. Tumefurahi sana Hilary, vile wewe unajitolea juu ya hizi spaces, we don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Esther Sins. Thank you so much. And comrades, Daktari is here with us now. Daktari, we can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, and these people they don't want you to talk. Uh,
We talk.
yeah, we
But
can hear you. We can now hear you very well. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very okay, and thank you so much for joining this conversation. We are so happy to have you this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maverick. You can say hi to Daktari, then we start our questions. I know 10 minutes was a little bit hiccup, but we're okay now. Maverick.
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening. How are you, Maverick?
I'm awesome. It's a pleasure to hear from you as always.
Good to go.
Yeah, we're
Good to
glad
hear.
you,
Good to
you were
hear,
able to join us
guys.
despite the earlier hiccups. We are living under nefarious times, so you never know. But we're glad that you made time for us, and Kenyans appreciate you. They do not take you for granted. And I think we can just dive right in. People have been eagerly waiting, so we can just kickstart the conversation.
Okay. All right. Daktari, thank you so much for joining. These are Kenyans are here. They're listening, thousands of them, thousands of them. And they were waiting this conversation. And we are trying to put it on the current issues and the things that is happening. And we know the work that you did. Those people who are there, maybe those people were born after maybe 2-3 years ago. But I think when you were working as a public servant, people saw the work that you're doing. And our questions today, I know you introduce yourself. You say, and we know that you're running for the presidency. But I want to start with a pertinent question. That the question is really bothering many people. Is about education, being that you were CS before of education, and things that is happening today, people are not happy. So my first question is, what is your honest assessment of the CBC curriculum so far? Has it done well so far as it was promised? As it going the way it was planned? As is running the way it should run? And also we are seeing a lot of challenges on university funding, TVET relevance, remaining major concerns. What reforms should be fast checked on this thing to align education with real economic needs? Thank you, Dr. Ari. Wow. Dr. Ari, again, they have gone with your voice. Okay. Again, we can't hear him. I think uh, uh, we are going to let us check. Maverick, again, we can't hear him. Let us check again what is happening.
Okay, on it.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Milton, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, Hillary. And hello to everybody here for this space. And we look forward to having a constructive discussion with my elder brother and good friend, Dr. Matiang'I. But I think the challenges you're seeing with the interference is obviously indicative of a regime that is so paranoid and scared um, in a way that it is now muzzling and interfering with the citizens' right to express themselves and to associate and the freedom of speech. We this should not be taken for granted or ignored in any way. This is something that should tell us what we are dealing with in terms of a regime that is deploying every instrument available to it to oppress Kenyans.
Okay.
I want.
I'm not able to tell whether there are connection problems or interferences. But first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I've also been looking forward to have this opportunity to meet with you in this forum and discuss on the issues that are affecting our country. It's an honor to meet citizens of our country and to have an opportunity to engage with them and contribute to whatever I may, by God's grace, to the current debate and the issues of our country today and tomorrow and the future of our country. So let's go straight to the issues of education. Am I satisfied with the CBC? The country took a long time to settle on the curriculum-based, the competence-based curriculum. And the level of consultation was deep, lengthy, and it took a lot of time and resources. Is it the right curriculum for Kenya? I believe it is. Has it faced so many teething problems? Absolutely. And what are the problems? In my honest view, the challenge we have with the education sector in the country is not necessarily different from the challenges we have with other sectors in the country. The challenge can be described in basically two words: incompetent management. That's all. Because, implementing, transitioning a curriculum requires a lot of attention and a lot of resources. It also requires a certain level of commitment, especially from government and the leaders of the country. What you notice clearly is that that commitment is not there. The funding to the institutions that are supposed to oversee the implementation of the curriculum is very low and very poor. The focus of the government on the implementation of the curriculum is very poor. Let me share this, and I hope there's nothing here that breaches the Official Secrets Act. That at the end of our administration, just before we handed over, the last meeting I had during the second cabinet meeting that President Ruto had, with the old cabinet, as I was leaving, he asked me what I'm going to do. I said, I want to take a break for about a year and then figure out how to move on with my life. But I was already in conversation with some of my previous employers and contacts to see whether I could take up a new responsibility. But the one thing he asked me is that he said, look, you have been in the education sector. I am going to appoint Belio Kipsang, the PS, and I want you to contribute to some of the ideas that I want to implement. Cut the long story short, the only thing that happened is that the Belio, who had not even been appointed a PS substantively, sent me a document which was terms of reference for the task force that the president was going to put in place to review the curriculum. When I looked at the TORs, first of all, I thought it was the wrong thing to do. You are a new government, you are trying to form government, you are trying to do so many things, and you are reviewing a curriculum you don't understand, you have not sat down with those who are implementing it, and so on and so forth. So my piece of advice then to the PS at that time was, PS, if I were you, I would advise the president to spend time like 3 or 4 months with the people who are already implementing the curriculum and understand clearly before now you can move forward and start dealing with any reforms or touching it in any particular way. That did not happen, of course. The task force went on, worked on a report. And when I looked at the report that was done, arising from the task force, it has got so many challenges. The truth of the matter is that if we had focused more on, proper, accurate, effective implementation of the curriculum, we will not be having the challenges we have. There's so many management hiccups related to funding. For example, is clearly a case of management. The last 4 years, I have not seen any conversation, inclusive conversation on the education sector. Yet, by the way, this is a sector that requires regular engagement. The government engaging with the critical stakeholders, parents association, faith-based organizations that fund education, and most importantly, the critical stakeholders like the curriculum developers, the teachers who are implementing the curriculum, and so on. I haven't seen any of that kind of conversation happening unless you have seen it yourself elsewhere. So it's like, shooting in the dark. And if we are going to manage government in that kind of manner, obviously we get the desired results. So the truth of the matter is that the entire education sector would be managed better if there was more focus, more attention, more inclusion, and more seriousness on what we are doing. If you meet a lot of people in the higher education sector, including the critical role players like vice chancellors, they can't tell you comprehensively what the new university funding model is all about. The last time I asked the two critical role players, they told me actually when we were called to a meeting at State House, it's only one person who spoke throughout about it and then we left. So we also don't understand what this is all about. The problem is management. I keep saying this. We are on the campaign trail, yes, we are seeking an opportunity to contribute to the leadership of our country. Our problem, our foremost problem in this country right now is management. How we are managing public affairs, how we are managing implementation of critical programs. And unless and until we resolve those issues, we'll not see an end to the challenges that we face. And the confusion we are seeing now, I suspect we are not getting accurate data, but I suspect I'm trying to look for probably more accurate data from international role players who are interested in education in our country, UNICEF and the rest. But I suspect that our dropout rates, our dropout figures may be going back to the pre-Kibaki days. Number of kids who are not going to school and so on and so forth. The number of kids who are deferring, their university exams and university education because of the confusion that you all know. And all these things boil down to management, focus, inclusion, in the way in which we are working on this. And until we resolve those issues, we will have these problems throughout. So it has nothing to do with the curriculum, because I hear people saying, oh, it's a curriculum. When the government behind and discharges its responsibilities, such as our friends in the administration are doing, even if you gave them the old 7, 6, 3, they would still have a crisis about it. Even if you gave them 844, they would not be able to implement it. The question is, they don't look inside, they always looking outside for chaos. I could go on and on about this. When the government itself, the minister stands up and says 2 million kids are going to drop out of school in the arid and semi-arid areas because there's no food for school feeding program. That's a budget of 4.8 billion. That time state has allocated 17 billion. That time government is dishing out money, for people to attend meetings and so on and so forth. That time, government operatives are flying around the country purportedly doing empowerment and so on. Where are our priorities? It is a management issue. It's not even a resource issue. It's a management issue. The level of wastage is too high. And the level of confusion is too high. The level of deinstitutionalization is too high. And it would take a miracle for a framework like that to achieve results.
Yes, Dr. Yeah, yeah, you.
That's what I would say for now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Dr. is saying that
Can I have a word? Can I have a word?
we're gonna give you, yes. Yeah, we're gonna give you time. And here, Joachim, we raise up your hands. You just respect our space, and that's how we run it. So we'll give you time. I will give you a lot of
So,
time. All right. Thank you so much. Daktari, thank you so much. Daktari, I've said so many things. And one it rotates about management. It's not about resources. It's about the management. It's about priority. It's about several discussion all the time, ongoing discussion. Yes, there was a problem even when the CBC was starting, but it is the best. It's saying that it's the best curriculum that Kenya should embrace, but it needs discussion all the time. It needs meetings, and also the priority. The government should take action and action, and people get involved. The people who are concerned about education, and thank you so much for that, Daktari. And I want to, that one rotate to the second question before I give it to my co-host to ask you another question. Is about the youth and employment. After that, we have seen the education. When people graduating, we know they need jobs. They need
complaining about overtaxation. They are complaining about bureaucratic rent-seeking challenges of government. All these slowly but surely stifle growth, and therefore, of course, they take away opportunities for employment. What needs to be done, and in my very honest view, is a total overview and finally, overhaul of our investment environment. Look at what set of incentives or package of incentives can be given to investors and people who are willing to put their money in our country in all sectors of our economy so that then they can create employment. I was in an international meeting another day with some friends of mine where, and then because of, the rules of confidentiality and Chatham House, somebody said, and is a big investor who was talking about how they're dealing with our country and our government. In one of the complaints this investor was raising is that they are applying for alliances in the mining sector. And then they, to my shame as a citizen of this country, they let how many people or how many bureaucrats have asked them for bribes. And because of that, they have decided they're not going to go forward with their plan to invest in this country. These are the things that are stifling growth. When government is so wasteful and when government is so inefficient, it discourages investment. And then you can talk about this, whether it's in the energy sector, whether it's in the standard sector, and so on and so forth. I mean, whether are investors confident enough to come to our country and put their money here? And what creates that confidence? Predictability. If we are changing rules every day, changing laws every day, and if we are treating the investor, badly, we are asking for rent from investors, we are mistreating them. I know of a company that has been dealing with one of our parastatals to look for very simple lenses, which one of their directors told me would easily take like 3 days. It has taken over 3 months because of being taken around in circles and so on, because of rent seeking and so on. How will people then invest and thereby create employment in our country? So there's a big interrelationship between the governance ecosystem in the country and the opportunities that we can create in employment and how fast we can grow the economy and create opportunities for our young people. That is why, in my very honest opinion, the change we seek in the next elections is not going to be ordinary. It's not going to be business as usual. We do not hope that by merely changing government, we will achieve the objectives we want. For me, I am bidding for real change. Change that you can feel and change that people can see, a radical transformation. For example, I've been discussing with private sector colleagues and friends of mine, why don't we even have a performance index for investment management in the country so that we are able to say how else or how well can we manage to create a climate for our investors to come in, and how do we assess the process, whether it's a licensing regime, whether it's taxation regime, whether it is the financial sector actions that we take, how they can affect investors in our country, so that every year we improve on it as an indicator of how convenient or how supportive an environment we are creating for investment and therefore for job creation.
All right. Thank you so much. Dr. is talking about the investment or the investors to come across. I have dialogue with them, talk to them, share with them what you want as a leader, so that they can create more jobs for young people, not only for young people, for Kenyans. Thank you so much, Dr. for that. This is Pressure Point on Sunday edition. We are with Dr. Matiang'I, and we are so candid on our questions. I see so many people are asking Mike. Please just give us time. We're gonna give everybody a mic, and also when co-host or host give you a time, just there with us, because many people want to ask question and everything. So, and we said very categorically as Pressure Point today, our question is things that affect Kenyans. We are not talking about Yala edition. We are not talking about Dr. Miguna edition today. All these things, Dr. have addressed them. And categorically, as Pressure Point today, we are not addressing those two issues because they are there in YouTube and we don't want to repeat the same questions going forward. Thank you so much, Dr. for that education and unemployment. I want to give it to Maverick if he has a question, I think, on security and maybe, and then we can open it for our team to also ask maybe 1-2 questions. Maverick, back to you.
Hi, Hilary. Thank you very much. I believe that Tari is still part of the discourse.
Yes.
Now, He's just ended his submission by mentioning investment, but no one wants to invest where there's no security. Which brings me to the question that the situation in the country lately has been onerous, it's precarious, it's bewildering to say the least. I mean, cases of insecurity have been catapulting and upthrusting rather in confounding manner. This can depend on a myriad of issues that are, from the bulging youth population who remain largely unemployed, and one can argue that this makes them susceptible to engage in crime. We also have political manipulation, particularly around the election cycle. Right now, we have like 14 months to election. A recent expose showed that Al-Shabaab paraphernalia, like the military fatigue and weapons, are procured from China and are stored in Isili. Goonism has been sanitized by the regime and is being tolerated by the masses. I mean, if you saw what happened the other day when the united opposition was heading towards Kikuyu, they literally stopped traffic and the masses were acquiescing to their demands. Hey, leta kitu, brother, upite, and they were giving them that kitu. So, in my view, the masses are tolerating this. Leaders are being clobbered in daylight, and one wonders what might happen to the hoi polloi that cannot afford personal security or to be airlifted in case of attacks like Ososi. Having been one of the most consequential heads in the security docket as a former CS of Interior, give us a fair assessment of the current situation as someone with that experience, how you dealt with some of these challenges in the previous regime, and how you would make Kenyans feel safe again. Some of us in exile, we want to come back home. Because one of the key prerogatives of a state is to ensure a conducive environment for citizens to thrive, to innovate, to invent, as well as protections of lives and property. Over to you, Dr.
This is, I mean, as you would expect, this is something that is very close to my heart. I was the Minister for Interior for about 5 years, and I dealt with the security sector in the country. I understand the security sector like the back of my hand. Let me begin by saying this to all of listening to me tonight as citizens of our wonderful country. It's very simple. Discipline is destiny. In cases where you do not have discipline, whatever levels of society that indiscipline permeates, you will not have a secure society. And secondly, I think everyone knows this is a fact. I don't need to repeat this, and I don't need to sound like I'm being negative, but this is the fact of life. The character of government takes after its leader. It is the leaders of the country who have decided what kind of government they want to run. Do they want to run a clean government and a secure country, or they want to run a chaotic country? The challenges we have now are not beyond solution. I mean, they can be solved. I can tell you for a fact that the level of indiscipline in the security sector related to the over-politicization of security management is what has led to this point. The gangs that exist across villages cannot exist without the awareness of government. You cannot tell me, and I hope all of you do not, me being very blunt, I understand the security architecture of the country, from the county security team that is usually led by the county commissioner to the sub-county security team or the district security teams we have down there, the regional security teams, all the way to the National Security Advisory Committee and the National Security Council, which is chaired by the president. Our capacity, and I want to confirm to you tonight as you listen to me, and then this is fact, our capacity as a country in the security sector is such that we should not be having any of those incidents. In other words, those incidents are happening because they are being tolerated. We have capacity in this country to be peaceful, to ensure that we go about our activity without a problem. Those things that you are seeing, the goons that you are seeing running around and so on, it is, as I said, the over-politicization of the security sector. It has nothing to do with failure or lack of capacity. I know most of the leaders of the security infrastructure in the country. I worked with them. I know some of these people very well. Kanja, who is the current Inspector General of Police, was the GSU commandant for the entire time I was Minister for Interior, and I worked with him. He's the officer who led our theater in Dusi too. I mean, I know very well the DCI. I know Nurdin, the Director General of the National Intelligence Service. We worked with him. He was the DPP. And I know their capacity. It's not a question of capacity. It's a question of a politicization of the security sector. And I understand all these people work. They're all fine Kenyans who want to do a good job. But I think some of them probably are just stressed out by the politics of the day. And the politics of the day that's trying to provide cover to crime and criminal conduct. You can't tell me, for example, that the regional security team in central Kenya did not know that there were goons who are going to disturb the meeting in Kikuyu. If that was the case, and if I was the Minister for Interior, I would insist that that person be sacked. And it's not true. They know it is not true. The problem with our security sector is not capacity, period. It's not that we can't deal with these issues. We can. It is because of political accountability that is very low and the politicization of our security operations. And unless and until discipline, firmness, seriousness is brought about in the way in which we manage the security of the country, those incidents will not come to an end. Just tell me, how on earth will you give Kenyan passports to criminals from RSF and those kinds of people? Do you want to tell me that is accidental? It's done conscientiously. There are people in those offices who are doing those things, who are being bribed, and they are doing those things. So reducing the level of accountability in the security sector and introducing a very high level of impunity in the security sector is what is going to destroy the country. And what our leaders in the security sector need to understand is this. Haiti did not start in one day. It started like this, where vigilante groups, informal gangs are moving around with the acquiescence and support of the government. Our capacity, I know our capacity. Let me give you an example. When I was Minister for Interior, one evening, actually one morning, early morning, around 3 o'clock in the morning, the president called me and told me he has learned from some of his friends that a chief's house has been burnt in Molo. I was in Molo at 7:20 in the morning. And when I got there, I was with the regional commissioner for Rift Valley. I was there with the regional police commander, Mr. Mboya, and the entire team. Before 9 in the morning, we had gotten to the bottom of everything and decisions that had been taken. So you cannot tell me that the same security infrastructure that we had is not capable of knowing who beat Ososi on the streets of Kisumu, or that there are gangs that exist in Kisumu. They are paid by people who are known. So the question is, we have to fix our politics. And this is the point at which I tell Kenyans, the decision is in our hands. It's upon us to decide what kind of country we want. If we want this kind of country, then we can continue engaging in PR. But if we want a different country, I keep saying I'm the real change candidate. I am interested in shaking the establishment to its bone marrow. To stop this kind of nonsense that we are seeing, 6 decades after independence, you cannot have goons walking side by side with police officers, and then they are not arrested. We've had by-elections across the country where, some funny masked people walk in and beat people and walk away. It is not because the police don't have the capacity. I can confirm to you, as a former Minister of Interior, we have sufficient capacity in our country to keep the country safe, to police the country safely without a problem. Those things are happening because A, deliberate dereliction of duty, B, incompetence in terms of the management, and C, mostly the politicization of the security sector. When we had a problem of pickpocketing and muggings in Nairobi, one of the time when it reared its ugly head in 2018 after the general elections, we all agreed, and the senior police officers who are on duty know what we did. We even trained an all-women commando unit, deployed them in supermarkets, in plain clothes and so on, highly trained police officers who are able to detect criminals, arrest them, and process them through the law. And people have confidence to go on and do their work. So you asked me what I would do if I was president. I mean, this kind of nonsense cannot happen under my watch. I can't. You can't. How? Because this is 6 decades. We are not any simple, small, little village country. We are a serious country. To see people, armed people, goons, walking into a meeting, and the police officers are watching, and it's unbearable to me. as somebody who understands the security of the country, what are we doing to our country? And you see what friends of ours in government don't understand is this: violence begets even more violence. You know, when those attacks are done, beating your opponents, they will need to beat someone else and to continue eating. You are riding on a tiger. They are the ones who are going to come to your houses and burn your houses and burn your families. In other words, when security is firm, clean, and well managed, it works for all of us, opposition or government. Just now in Kajiado, I was telling the public that, you know, in the security sector, there's something we have in the internal security sector called the threat profile, that we deploy and spend our resources on the basis of the threats that we have in the country and what we need to do. A politician who's going to talk to people is not a threat. That's what they are paid to do. Politicians are paid to talk. So why would I deploy police officers to follow a politician? Or why would I disrupt a politician's meeting? One time, a senior politician in the country, while I was Minister for Interior, was going to have a meeting in Muranga. My colleague P.S. Kibicho and I learned the police officers called us and one senior administrator to say, oh, by the way, so-and-so is coming here tomorrow. We have been told that we make sure the meeting does not happen. We said, we asked him, who told you? And so called me. We told him, listen very carefully, unless you want to be sacked, you follow the chain of command as it is. No one has told you from the police or from Arambe House to interfere with that meeting. Secondly, just use your basic common sense. When that politician comes to Muranga tomorrow and addresses the meeting, is he going to eat Muranga and go away with it? Whoever else wants to address Muranga will find it there intact. He will go back there and address the same Muranga. So why would you go beating people, causing problems and so on because a politician you don't like has gone to Muranga? Those ones who called you, who have called you and told you to interfere with the meeting, tell them to go to Muranga the following day after that politician has left so that they do their own address. So the truth of the matter is that in my view, my dear friends, we have to be sure that, you know, we have a country. I was the Minister for Interior when Raila Odinga, the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga, held a swearing-in ceremony at Uhuru Park. When everybody was saying, oh, it should not happen, and so we said, what is going to happen? I mean, he will go there. If Raila understands the country, understands the law, he's not going to engage in treason. Let's watch and see. And if one bullet had been shot at Uhuru Park during that experience, we will have lost a lot of lives. Not a single bullet was shot. Ask all my colleagues who were in the National Security Advisory Committee, the National Security Council. We spent the whole day in the control room having discussions with people and saying there's a limit to the things you can do to your citizens. So my answer is very simple. It goes back to what I said earlier. Discipline is destiny. We have to choose to be a disciplined people. And people who love their country enough to know that we also chose multi-party democracy. We're going to have more voices and more people expressing themselves on the affairs of the country. We have to run our country effectively. That one is no choice. And the foremost responsibility, constitutional responsibility of the president and the teams in the security sector is to secure Kenyans. And that is why it is painful, to say the least. It's very painful to see some of the things that we have been seeing in the country. You know, where, as Maverick is saying, Kenyan youth are running away to exile because someone is hunting them down because of a sentence they have written on Twitter or something like that. Is the world coming to an end because of that? This level of intolerance and political protectionism, which is clearly undemocratic, has got to come to an end. And a serious government, such as I would lead, will ensure that will not happen. I can't, I mean, frankly speaking, I mean, by now, people know me enough. There's some things I will not accept. Why would you be beating politicians like the way we were being harassed in Kikuyu yesterday? Were we going to eat Kikuyu after we have spoken to the residents of Kikuyu? We would go away. And those who have different opinions would go back there and have a rally. And also, discount what we have said, or disagree with us, present alternative views. That is how a country that is over 6 decades old is supposed to behave. So my philosophy and my plan about security can be summarized in one word: discipline, inflexible discipline. Everybody does what they are supposed to do, and we follow the law. And if we do that, we will all be happy. Because if you are unhappy about what I have done, taken to a court of law. That is it. But not do the kind of things we are seeing happening. And no one should lie to us. I need to emphasize this. No one should lie to us. I understand the security sector very well. That those goons that are operating there, that the government does not know anything about them. That's a blatant lie. And the one that no one should take. Because, I mean, in 2022, just before the elections, one morning, someone circulated leaflets in Eldoret. We were called, we got that information from the regional security team in Rift Valley in the morning. By 9 o'clock in the morning, we had arrested the people. They had been apprehended. That is the Kenyan security infrastructure. Ask yourself this question, and this is my concluding remark on this. How can our security infrastructure be so competent enough that they will listen to your WhatsApp conversation, that they will arrest you when they need to arrest you or abduct you from where they will meet you, but they are not competent to know who has hired goons? Thank you. Over to you.
Wow, that is so deep. That
Only and objectively handled. Corruption, it goes without saying that corruption is a major bane in this country. That 8 million was spent a day for the DP to just move from Nairobi to Tharaka, 8 million a day. While that is resources that can be used to build the Ahero Koru Dam, which can help mitigate the floods, because every time there are floods, we hear they say, "Careless idea" thing. So, government officials sleep with millions under their mattresses. We saw during the energy haste burst when money was being collected from just 3 houses, 500,000, was it 500,000 or 500 million, something of the sort. Assets are being sold in the name of PPPs. So please, assuage the anxiety of Kenyans on how you tackle this menace, the action plans to ensure respect for the rule of law, transparency, accountability, as well as independence of public institutions. Over to you, Dr.
yeah, Daktari, you're muted.
In 2015, when I was moved to the Ministry of Education and I started having conversations with people, we had serious problems with examination cheating, the rampant problem of malpractice and chaos. And about half of the people I was talking to in the public sector at that time, even politicians, used to tell me that you can't do away with examination cheating in Kenya. You can't fight examination cheating in Kenya. It's an ex-billion industry. It has been thriving for a long time. It will take a long time to uproot it. And I told them, you can. And if you put your mind on it and marshal the resources that are available in the public sector, you can deal with this nonsense once and for all. And I believe, my first answer to you, Maverick, is that I believe from the bottom of my heart, that we can clean up our country, that you can see the end of this horrible institutions to deal with corruption in Kenya. What we are short of is resolute, committed, and decided leaders to provide that opportunity to deal with these challenges of corruption. In fact, I don't want to, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. When I called a caucus of head teachers in 2015 to discuss this issue of examination cheating and so on, I remember the words of Mr. Matiang'I, the then principal of Lenana High School, who told me this: Mr. Minister, you know, this madness stretches all the way even here, Jogo House, where you are the minister. You can deal with this problem if you are resolute yourself and you remain firm and you lead by example. In other words, you are not taking money for Harambes and so on from some of these shadowy characters who could actually be involved in the racket related to examination malpractices. I told him to stand up. I shook his hand. I told him, Mr. Matiang'I, you've met Mr. Farm. I will fight this thing with every breath of my life. And I will marshal the resources that are available. So my point is this: we are so endowed as a country. I actually sometimes wonder whether people know how blessed we are as a country. We are so blessed as Kenya. We have smart public servants. We have very well-meaning people. Where we have a challenge, honestly, is this aspect of leadership, especially political leadership. That's where the problem is. You know, where leadership is an advantage to enrich oneself, people think about aggrandizement, people think about acquisitions, and so on and so forth. We will never ever see the end of this unless we get to a point where we look for leaders who are resolute, determined, and committed to live by the law. We will say all those nice things that we say on platforms. Our leaders read speeches. You had Justin Muturi, our former Attorney General, saying that when he sees a national leader, he started a national leader saying we are going to fight corruption, he almost falls off his seat. He doesn't know who are you actually talking about. How can you fight corruption? So the question is, it starts with exemplary leadership. So all I promise Kenyans, if I was so blessed, so lucky to be given the opportunity to lead the country, my first promise is exemplary leadership. I'll lead by example. I'll not do business with government. I will not be interested because it will deny me the moral authority I need to look my own cabinet in the face and tell them to go to hell if they're engaged in corruption. It will deny me the moral authority I need to shake down those who are engaged in corruption, whether they are governors and so on, and ensure that they are punished. You know, people forget one thing. All these invoices and payments for tenders and all these are done by Kenyans, by Kenyan civil servants. They're the ones who see these things. So when we are busy talking out there on platforms about how we are going to fight corruption, the public servants know what's happening. The parastatals, procurement officers know how we called them last night and dictated them to give tenders to certain people, how we are making money. People know this. Kenyans know this. How can we be trusted by Kenyans if we speak one thing and do another? That's where the challenge is. And to be very honest with you, I don't think we need more institutions. We need more laws. You know, we have enough laws. We have strong institutions. At least let's work with the ones we have in place. When you read the report of the Auditor General on e-Citizen, I don't know whether Maverick you have read that report. The pain that goes through your body is that there is a data commissioner who's an independent office. There is financial reporting center that is supposed to be protected by the law. There is DCI, there is ESCC, all these people exist. And you can read through the pages of the Auditor General's report on e-Citizen, the pain that the Auditor General has put there on what is going on there. So the question is, it's leadership. President Clinton said during his presidential campaign, is the economy stupid? For me, I say it's a leadership stupid. Let's get the leaders. It's management. Let's get the leaders who will do the work. We can write as good laws as we want. We can do as much as we want, but if we don't have the leaders to provide the way, we will not get there. So my view is, if I was so lucky and so blessed to be, I want to be given the opportunity, I'll walk the talk It is not easy, but it can be done. I have had experience before in the education sector. I've had experience before in the security sector. I can tell this story again and again. I turned up at Jogo House in 2015. The first assignment I had was to release exams from Caledonia. A very disgraceful expedition because the exam that year, people are seeing questions on KTN in the evening and Nation TV, and the following day they were on the papers, and so on. And during that opportunity, first I apologized to the country. Second, I was shocked when I asked the peers, all this drama we're having here, the dancers, breakfast, what? Why do we do this just to release the exams? Said, yeah, this is how it has always been done. How much money does it cost us now? 5.5 million. Then I told him this is the last time this silly thing will be done while I'm your minister. The following day in 2016, you remember, after briefing the president in State House Mombasa, I drove to Shimalatewa, called the principal there, told him to avail the hall. I called Wangoi Mushiri, my communication director, put up the media there, addressed the media, released the exam, and spent zero. And that continued that way. The following time, released the exams in Nairobi School. Next, I released the exams at Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, spending zero. Which means if we are disciplined, we can achieve it, we can do it. If we want to make sure that we run our country responsibly, we can do it. So we can talk about fighting corruption, until the cows come home. The truth of the matter is this: it's going to take the will of leaders who will say, if people sacrificed even their lives for this country to be independent, I will sacrifice my comfort so that I run a country that will benefit all Kenyans. And I'm prepared to do that. Thanks.
Asante sana daktari for that. Those are real answers, and thank you so much for that. Those who are joining this pressure point, pressure point state of nation edition, we are with Dr. Matiang'I. Is really answering the question the way most of Kenyans are thinking that. Follow Dr. Matiang'I. Don't fail to follow Dr. Matiang'I. Make sure you follow that handle so that you can hear what he's saying. Daktari, what you talk about, they're saying that they want to hear you more when in public rally. They want to hear you audibly. They want you to speak also some these things on when you're in rallies. That one you'll address when you're in rallies. Abdi, do you have any question to Daktari?
Yeah, it's a long one. Yeah, true. Santi Sana. Again, thank you. I'll only ask very two quick questions. One is a question I'll ask myself. One, I'll also pick a question from James Mora, who is joining us from Karoka. So the first question, Dr. Matiang'i, is you strongly speak about unity, restoring dignity, and fixing what is not working in this country. As someone with significant experience in government, how would you want Kenyans to understand your leadership journey? In what way will you demonstrate that your current vision reflects a forward-looking approach, one grounded in accountability, constitutionalism, and respect for the rule of law? The second question is from James, as I said, from Keroka. On a text, he says, he's saying, we keep ongoing a conversation around building credible and united opposition. And on his behalf, I would like to ask, he said on his behalf, he asked, would you be open to other coalition collaborating with you like David Maraga? What principles or shared value will guide such partnerships to ensure it reflects integrity, constitutionalism, and public interest? Additionally, James is asking, was there any effort on your part to reach out to him to explore such cooperation? Sandesan, over to you, Larry.
Thank you so much, Daktari. Daktari, can we take three questions, then you answer them together? You're muted. All right. Whoever is controlling the Daktari's handle, check you're muted. We can take maybe five questions, then he can answer them at a row so that we give more people chances to ask maybe one, two questions. But I think he had that,
Yes, go
so
ahead. Go ahead. I'll
they're
take
writing it down.
questions. I'll go ahead.
Oh, okay. Naomi, do you have a question to Daktari?
Hello, Hilary. Thank you so much this evening. Thank you so much, Doc, for taking your time to interact with the ex guys. Okay, I'll talk on behalf of Wamama about Leader Mama and our health sectors. I would like to know how Daktari will get us back to the Leader Mama. I always interact with Wamama because I'm one, and they love Daktari so much because of his track records in education sector. You know, he managed to balance the poor and the rich. So now they are always wondering what happened to Leader Mama and what will Daktari do to bring back that Leader Mama. It was very, very helpful to many women. Thank you so much.
So
Back to
thank
you,
you so
Hilary.
Naomi Linda Mama. Sasa daktari amesikia hiyo ataweza kujibu, na thank you so much for asking question on behalf of ladies. We are so happy about that. Esther Sins and then Dr. Kimani.
Hilary, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You have 10 gadgets, but go ahead.
So, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yes, I do have two questions. First, there's this picture that usually circulates of Matiang'I, Uhuru, and I don't know who else, wakiwa hapo nje. I think it's called Shadam House or whatever. So there's this feeling amongst Kenyans, one, that anytime that Kenyans elect a president, it's like there's always a Western hand behind it. It's like they always have to either say yes or maybe it's manipulated. I don't know if that rumor is usually true or not. So when Kenyans go to the ballot and elect a president, is it purely a decision, or does the West give a green light to whoever also leads us, so that people have this feeling that presidents usually have to kind of bow to the people who either give us donations, like the way we were feeling, the other, what are they called, ambassador of the US had a lot of hand in our undertakings, especially during the protest. That's one question. Is he going, in case he's given this chance to lead us, yeye ni rais wetu kikamilifu, ama yeye pia kuna watu ambao wanamcontrol kutoka nje, ama huwa wana control maraisi kutoka nje?
Power.
So the other question the other question is very quickly is, what is his take on the interference of foreign nationals? Tumekuwa tukiona I think Burundian, Somalis wakipewa ID za wa Kenya, na Israelis occupying Nakuru and us feeling like we are having a foreign invasion in this country.
Asante. Swali mawili tumesikia. Dr. Kimani, pick it up.
Asante sana, Hillary, and of course the co-host. Daktari, my name is Dr. Kimani Karango, a curriculum theorist and historian by training, and also a politician by choice. But importantly, I'm a patriot by at heart. That is a Kenyan. I think I have followed your articulation of issues, and I think for the first time, I feel very hopeful that Kenya, as I have always said, things can be done and be done in the right way. If only we only have the discipline. So thank you so much on that, and assurance on that issue. My question today, Daktari, to you, you have articulated a lot of issue from a national perspective, but as you, wanting to lead the Kenya as a president, I'm also looking forward to leading Nyandarua County as the next governor, and I believe things can be done. So I wanted to hear a few things that you would do, or you corroborate with the devolution of Kenya and how that can shape, the livelihoods of the Kenyans, not only here. And lastly, the take for the people in the diaspora, because I believe, as you mentioned, Kenya is one of the countries that has got highest taxes, I think, on earth. I mean, we have a few other things that we also do extraordinary, but I wanted to hear on those two issues of devolution and taxes, and how the diasporians need to resettle back to Kenya, given your presidency, Daktari mwenzangu. Asante sana.
Asante, asante sana Dr. Kimani for that. Let me take the last one, then I give Daktari to answer them. Linus, pick it up. Linus, Gerald.
Yes, thank you so much. I think you get me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thanks so much. First, I would like to appreciate Daktari for the work he's done in the public service. I think I only have one question. I appreciate what Daktari has put across, because currently with the current regime, and in this I'm making this in reference to both executive and legislature, we are right in the middle of sham political arena. It is the kind of the cloak and dagger kind of politics that you're facing today. And I'm glad that Daktari, listening to you, you've attempted to address some of these issues. But my question is, there is a growing talk about a united opposition as a way to strengthen democracy and offer Kenyans a credible alternative. From your perspective, Daktari, do you genuinely believe in a united opposition as a vehicle for change? Or do you think these alliances are mostly political convenience? And more importantly, what role would you personally play in ensuring that such a coalition is based on clear ideas and accountability rather than just for winning power? Thank you so much, Hilary.
Thank you so much, Gerald, for this question. Dr. You can pick them up, then we take another round. Thank you so much. Dr. You're here? Hmm. Okay. I think they're
Number, but
checking, but I hope.
I'll try to be precise.
Yes. Yes.
On this matter.
Go ahead.
The question that was asked earlier about unity and accountability, and how I will ensure that because I talk about national unity and so on, and how that can actually be achieved. I hold this view, and we can debate it. Maybe the others who have other perspectives on the same, but I hold this view that Kenyans, rank and file of Kenyan people have no problem with unity. They've never had a problem working together, doing things together, delivering and serving the country together. The challenge of attempting to divide the country is usually a politically expedient venture or efforts that are made by politicians.
Dr. You are clear.
I should know better.
I think that there's a breakdown.
Every time I take up an issue or remember department,
let him come close to the mic.
I remember working with a huge group of civil servants. Some of them I remember to this day. Fantastic, hard working, the people who love their country and who bring love for country, professionalism, and commitment to work, and not their tribes or anything else. Which means that actually we, more than probably many countries on the continent, have all the conditions present to build a very strong, solid, united country. If only we do the right thing, and the people we lead feel that we are actually honest and genuine in the things that we are doing. The challenges in most cases are that when leaders are dishonest, if they are not able to inspire the hope and trust of the people that you lead, it becomes difficult for people then to follow you and to work with you in a committed manner that serves the country. So in my very honest opinion, first of all, I want to tell you, I mean it, I sincerely mean it, that you can unite the country, you can inspire the trust of the people of Kenya, work with them effectively, and they can deliver.
Hillary,
because I'm not
can you tell the Daktari to fix the mic a little bit?
Any challenge myself.
Yeah, Daktari, you are not audible enough.
Never mattered anything. What the people of Kenya are looking for, and I've seen when we have challenges across the country. We've had historic challenges here and there. Let me give you a classic example. I was in government when we dealt with the corona problem, COVID-19.
Yeah, it's being sorted out. It's being sorted out.
When we were looking for resources and trying to serve the people of Kenya,
It's being sorted out, guys. Thank you so much. I think, Daktari, there was a breakage. They're working on it. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. We are sorry about that. I think there's audible issues, but we can take more questions. We can write them down, and when he comes back, so that I can see more than around 8 requests here on mic. Guys, just bear with us. I know many people want to ask questions, but we gotta give everybody a chance to ask that. So, Rasji, you can pick it up as we wait. Daktari, we'll take them down because when he fix them, we just need to go on to answer those questions. Rasji. Ratsji, wewe unawekanga mic wapi? Billy, good evening. How are you doing? Yeah. Daktari, that's very clear. Just be there. Thank you. Pick it up.
Okay, so I was saying that on the question of unity and accountability, I believe in it. I want to say this and I confirm to you. I believe in it. We can build a much stronger, much more united country because my experience in the public service is that I will say this as many times as I have, God gives me breath. Kenyans love their country, they're very patriotic, they need trustworthy leadership that is focused on developing the country. In every department I worked with people from all walks of life, all communities. No one cared when you walk through the door which ethnic community you come from. The truth of the matter is that Kenyans, the ordinary rank and file, mwananchi wa kawaida, don't have a problem working with each other. Some of these challenges of unity are brought about by political and elite manipulation of our society. And it requires very strong leadership and focused leadership to move the country forward in that respect. And I am prepared to provide that. I have learned this, that for the people of Kenya, when you give them a service and you perform and deliver on the expectations, there is nothing more that they will ask from you. And therefore, there will be no room to debate disunity or to create disunity where you are led by meritocracy. You respect the institutions that work. You respect the individuals who work there. How would you fail to build a united environment and an accountable government? And I believe in this. I just don't talk about it. I believe in it. Do I believe in opposition unity? I do. Have I tried to talk to my elder brother, retired Chief Justice David Maraga, about this? I honestly think, first and foremost, it's too early in the day to start asking what you ask the other or who is going to ask the other to support the other. Let me begin by saying this. I am not entitled to anything. I am, a citizen of this country who is seeking an opportunity to provide my contribution to my country through the office of the president. Everyone is equally entitled and everyone has an equal right to express that particular interest. It's like we are applying for a job. When a job is advertised, you apply. You may end up being 1,000 applicants. It's upon those who are going to give the job to sift through the applications and look at the criteria and what have you and decide who is qualified to do the job. And then that is the attitude I've adopted in this matter. I am ready, willing, and available to work with anyone who's facing the direction of forward and the direction of building a united, prosperous, and productive country. And in doing this, I say all the time, I'm probably one of the very few people now on the national political scene who doesn't have scores or issues to settle with anybody. I'm not here because I want to settle scores with anybody. I'm not here because I want to fight X or Y or what. I'm just basically interested in making my simple contribution to the development of my country. And anytime an opportunity arises for me to engage anyone, including my elder brother, Maraga, I'll be more than willing to do that. And that time will come when all of us will have to have a conversation on how we are going forward. Already conversations are going on with some of my colleagues in the opposition on how best we can build a platform that will bring about real reform to the country. And I think that's going on well. And I believe in it and I'll continue participating in it. Naomi, Linda Mama was introduced by the government I served, the Jubilee administration under President Uhuru Kenyatta. I believe in it. I believe in the policy. To this day, I am not able to understand. And when I say this, I want to say it in a very objective manner so that the leaders in government today don't think that I am necessarily criticizing them. I haven't seen even the honorable cabinet minister in charge of the Ministry of Health robustly, articulately, and convincingly answering this question. Why did we move from NHIF to SHA? And yet, I keep saying the most rudimentary thing for any minister to do in terms of public policy is to answer the question, what are you doing and why are you doing it? Because the outcry is universal in the country about this SHA and so on. The outcry is universal about the provision of services, especially that affect, maternal health and so on. So why are we debating it? In my honest opinion, we should actually scrap it, go back to the system of NHIF that we had, together with the reforms we are carrying out on NHIF supported by the World Bank, and through that framework, introduce the program that Uhuru Kenyatta and Margaret Kenyatta worked on, called Linda Mama, to look at how we support our mothers across the country. That's what I would do if I was elected tomorrow. That's what I would do. Esther, I believe that whoever is elected president in Kenya is elected by Kenyans to be the president of Kenya. We, of course, cannot live in isolation. We are not an island. We operate within an international framework. And truth be told, our development partners and other nations are interested in knowing how our politics is going and how the future of our country is going to be. So from time to time, ambassadors, leaders in international organizations will seek to have conversations with those who want to lead the country, just because they want to know them and understand them. I think that is it, not to influence, because I'm not aware of British citizens or American citizens who are voters in Kenya. Kenyans elect their presidents. But you asked me a direct question. If I'm elected, will I be influenced by anyone? I will adopt the philosophy of Kenya first, Kenya second, and Kenya third. I focus on Kenya. I deal with the issues that affect Kenya and how best I can serve Kenya. In any case, that's the most rational thing you can do. But that does not mean that you will not listen to, or you will not talk to, or you will not engage with other players, because there's no nation on this earth that exists in isolation. That's why we support multilateralism as a country. We are members of the UN. We are members of the AU. We are members of many organizations. As for Chatham House, traditionally for a long time, many governments, including the British government and the British private sector and the people who are investing in the country, always look for opportunities to understand those who are seeking leadership in Kenya. Even the current president spoke at Chatham House. Uhuru Kenyatta has spoken at Chatham House. Kalonzo Musyoka spoke there before. And when I was invited to offer my views. And then there are many organizations that they want to know, the people who have offered themselves to lead the country, what they think about the country, what they think about international affairs. It's essentially a get to know opportunity, as it is. Our development partners and other role players, including big private sector investors who are interested in our economy, they want to know you. They want to understand who you are and what you stand for. So it's not really intended to influence you or shape your opinion, but just basically to understand who you are and so on. Foreign nationals in the country and foreign nationals engaging in activities in this country, I am on record. I even see videos circulating around when I, as Minister for Interior, I ordered a rescreening of our work permit system. And then I think I can take credit. I'm probably one of the only ministers who have done that before, to ensure that work permits are given to people who are doing jobs Kenyans cannot do. They cannot be given to people to come and do jobs Kenyans can do. We cannot deny our citizens opportunities and give them to foreigners. And look, I deported so many people. I have to be frank with you. I deported so many people, and the provisions of the Act allow the minister to take action in relation to foreigners in the best interest of the country. So where there are cases where, for example, foreign nationals have mistreated our own people, like the case where, you had foreign nationals beating up a Kenyan worker and so on. I that's not a matter, for me, it's not an issue of debate or discussion. I deported quite a number of them. So if the government drops its guard, like I believe this administration has done, to the ridiculous extent of giving passports to criminals and so on and so forth, it's unfortunate for the country. We ought not to do it. Let's just say it clearly. We ought not to do it. We are supposed to protect our country, the integrity of our nation, and ensure that we respect the image of our nation. I don't want to imagine that the people who are in government don't understand this. They do. And then, I hope that they understand the dangers of doing this. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, if I was president, I'll maintain the same philosophy. I mean, Kenyans for Kenyans, Kenya for Kenyans, and Kenyans get the first priority in things. And it's okay for people to come to our country, but they have to do so lawfully, and they will have to be here doing things that are not inimical to the development and progress of our country. And if they do, I'll not even think twice about deporting them. I mean, and I deported quite a number of people, when I was Minister for Interior. I do not regret it. I'm very happy about it. And that is the way we should manage our affairs as we go forward. Dr. Kimani, on the issue of Nyandarua and the relationship with the county governments. You see, okay, the Constitution anticipates Article 174 about the role of the county governments and what the county governments will do, but there is, of course, they expected to be an interrelationship. I normally talk about harmonization and coordination. We will always succeed when we coordinate effectively with county governments and support each other and minimize conflicts and reduce chances of disagreements. There are organs that have been created to achieve that. The Council of Governors is about to meet on a regular basis, and IBEC, chaired by the Deputy President and the Ministry of Finance, dealing with that. And the President himself is supposed to meet with the Council of Governors and constantly harmonize and coordinate development activity between county and national government. I leave it up to you to be the best judge, whether or not that is happening, or we are seeing a lot of discordant and a lot of uncoordinated activity between county government and national governments. But there is a provision in the law that gives the president powers and gives the deputy president powers to engage with the county government. My experience when we fought COVID-19 was that if we didn't work very well with the county government, we will never have succeeded. So it's always important, necessary actually, to ensure that there is proper coordination, seamless engagement between county and the national government. And also this aspect of taxation. One of the barriers to local trade and movement of goods we discovered was, some disconnect between county government taxes and national government taxes. This has been work in progress, and the harmonization being worked on, over the years. But the truth of the matter is that it requires much more focus than I see happening these days, and it requires much more regular engagement and institutionalization of these activities than I see these days. Until and unless that is done, you will have this disjuncture where you have taxes in county governments that inhibit investment activities and inhibit movement of goods and services. But so far, to be honest, I think Kenya has done well in this particular respect. Whatever there is that needs to be done, again, as I said, is constant work in progress. Now, on the diaspora, Dr. Kimani, the Kenyan diaspora is a critical player in the economy of our country. In 2025, probably about 6 billion shillings will be remitted by the diaspora to our economy. And this is about 4% of our GDP. And sometimes, I frankly, won't support taxation of remittances by the diaspora. Because if you tax the remittances by the diaspora, you are discouraging them from investing in the local country. I would rather make my money, if I was president, I would rather make my money in the increased volume of investment by the diaspora in the country, in which case I will not tax the remittances. I will have the remittances increase. I will even increase the packages for, in incentivizing the diaspora to remit more. And through that remittances and the investments that come as a result, I am able to make more money for the economy. But taxing remittances is hurtful, and it would actually probably lead to a holdback on remittances by the diaspora, because they'll begin looking for avenues of better investment. Because I imagine if, for example, you are living in the UK, or you are living in the US, and if your remittances are going to be taxed, you would rather go and buy an apartment in Dubai or in Qatar. You probably get a better return on investment than remitting your money to Nairobi. It's taxed, and what you wanted to buy in Maradaima, you feel you will not make it because of the taxation. So I will not support the taxation of remittances by diaspora for sure. But the diaspora has got a critical role to play. I've often said before, and we have discussed this in the party I belong to in Jubilee, that when it comes to listing people or candidates for nominations to the National Assembly and nominations to Parliament, we will forfeit a slot or two in quite a number of cases to people from the diaspora. Because I would like, for example, in the county government of Nairobi, if Jubilee has enough votes to nominate an MCA, I would be happy to nominate an MCA from the diaspora, because the level of investment that's coming from the diaspora is such that the voice of the diaspora should be presently heard and immediately present at the critical decision-making level. And I would actually be happy to nominate a member of parliament who essentially is a diaspora person, so that when legislation and so on is discussed in parliament, there is somebody present who can play a role of representation in that area. Lastly, again, the question that was asked by Linus on the united opposition, is it a convenient vehicle for winning elections, or we mean seriously that we would like to form government? Let me make this confession to you. I've interacted with my colleagues in the United Alternative Government for the last about 6 months. What I have seen in each one of them is almost an inflexible resolution to save the country from the challenges of this administration. And because of that, I have faith that as we now move to the second phase of building our platform, organizing our structures in the united opposition, on the united alternative government, we will for sure demonstrate to Kenyans that we mean what we say and we say what we mean. The skepticism is understandable because, the country has experienced the challenges it has experienced before, even when political leaders are promised heaven and delivered next to hell. But I believe that as we continue our engagement and discussions, and as we continue to work on this, in the next few days, you will see we'll announce critical actions and critical plans that we have as a united group that will demonstrate to you that we are not merely together for the sake of convenience. We are together because we love our country, and we believe that together with other Kenyans, we can make a contribution to a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for that session, and we really appreciate it. Dolphin, pick it up from there. Then then Ramfeld, then Ronyo, then Ras G, Billy, Dr. Milton. That order. Dolphin.
Okay, thank you so much, Hilary. I have a few questions for Daktari. First, I'd like to know your take, Daktari, on the issue of skills exportation, because as you can see, a lot of Kenyans who are trained and graduated are being transported to work abroad. What's your take about that? Just in case you become the president of Kenya, what will you do about it? Number two, I'd also like, as a youth, because most of the youths are feeling that they are a bit left out in the leadership of this country. In case you become the president, what would you do to involve the youth in decision making of the political leadership in the country? What are your first priorities about the youths of this country? And for the third question, I have the issue of education. As you can see, the CBC is a bit cumbersome. It is something that is very difficult to understand, especially even the teachers themselves are not understanding the system that is there in place. So what are your takes about the current system of the CBC that is ongoing? Just in case you become the president, what are you going to do about it? Because apparently our parents, our kids are really struggling. Even the teachers themselves are not understanding exactly what it is. To close, my last question is anchored on the cost of living. Honestly, on the ground, things are not as we see them. Times are tough, and it's very difficult for every Kenyan. In as much as we think that maybe the current president is doing his best to make things work for us, it's a bit tough. And I'd like to know, in case you become the president in the coming elections, how are you going to stabilize the cost of living? Because things are tough. Honestly, things are tough. How are you going to fix this so that we can get the relief that we are really yearning for? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dolphin, for that. But I want to, those who are coming, don't repeat the questions because I think some were addressed already. So, and also ask only, if one question is enough, that will be okay. Then because I think we started, our first question was about education, and the second question was about youth and employment. So we might reframe it, but the same question. So one question, two question at most, everyone, so that we have a lot of requests, guys, and also we need other people also to have a chance to ask questions. So Rampel, one
Yes,
question
yes, yes. Thank
or
you
two
so much,
questions.
Dr.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, okay. I appreciate. Let me also give my sincere gratitude to Daktari and even for the work that is done in the past years. Personally, is one person who has won my heart, and that's why I'm behind him and his leadership. And I believe that he can perform. And let's give him a chance. So, quick one, Daktari. I'd like to ask you this. It's a very complicated question. Yeah, you are in the opposition, that is United Opposition or Alternative Government, and still things are not that sure whether you'll be fronted as the flag bearer to run for presidency. Now, in case the choice, maybe they go for Kalonzo, what's your plan B? Because some of us, are really burning here. We really need your leadership. Personally, I need your leadership. And so, what's your plan B in case you're not fronted as the candidate for the United Opposition? Yeah, do you have any plan B? And by the way, suppose you're elected, you become the president. What would you do on the agriculture sector? Because I see we still have scarcity of water despite having enough. Waters, of course, enough water bodies. So, what's your plan on distributing resources such as water, even to the other countries that are in the arid and semi-arid lands? Yeah, what would you ensure that other places, where we feel like they've been marginalized in terms of such resources as water, you ensure that they have got enough supply of water, and if possible, now agriculture, of course, can be involved in such
Thank you so
areas.
much.
Yeah, so those are the two
Thank you
questions.
so much, Rafael Ronyo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hilary. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I thank you, Dr. I have two questions. One is because he was the CS of education. There was a school that was having issues one time because of kids not willing to take porridge in the morning, and 80% they wanted to take something else, and they were given opportunity to choose what they want to drink in the morning, and 80% decided to give different. They were given opportunity to give to vote in whatever they want to take as breakfast. 20% they just wanted to take porridge. The 80% they were willing to do. The others they were when they were given an opportunity. Others said coffee, tea, and all that. So my At the end, when the result came in, the 20% won because they stuck with porridge. So my question to Daktari is, are they going to do us the same thing, like because we have different functions?
But I've let Uji tell.
Where yeah,
Another question.
will they? Okay, and the last question is on audit debt.
Okay.
From previous government and the current government, we have had people wanaiba kuiba majamaa wameiba. So what is he going to do? Or even the Rigiji, if he is elected to be the president or the one of the opposition leaders, what are they going to do to ensure that the ile pesa imeibiwa and the audit debt is recovered? So, and the education sector is terribly wameharibu kabisa. What are they going to do? So how are they going to solve this? And the last one, Hillary,
No. Two
is on
questions. Two questions around
the
you. I'm
last one
very sorry
only.
about that. I'm sorry about that today. Yeah, go ahead, Billy. Billy. Okay.
Hi. Thank
Yeah.
you, Hillary, for this opportunity once again. Santi for bringing us Fred Matiang'I, Daktari, former CS. Thanks for joining. I only have 3 questions and I'll be straight to the point. Number one is to ask about will he help end the new higher education funding model? Because most of the students who did KCSE exams in his legacy were captured under new funding model that's costly and draining parents' money in game of bands. Second question is to ask him, given past cases where competent leaders have been locked out due to the bribery situation in the nomination process, him being a party deputy party leader of Jubilee, in how can he ensure a fair chance at securing a party ticket? And
No,
lastly,
Billy, no,
me
Billy, we're sorry
being
about that. Thank you so much, bro. I know there's a lot of questions, but we have 100
this is the
people who are
last one.
requesting, so let us just respect the two, and we maintain that as leaders is very important. Rasji, pick it up. Rasji, unajua kitu mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili, I will go to another person, and that chance goes that way. Rasji, thank you so much. Samir, uliza swali.
Asante sana, Hilary. And also, I would like to thank Waziri for finding his time to be here. I have only one question, direct to the question. Daktari, given a choice between the rule of law, democracy, and authority, which one will you choose if you become the president of Kenya 2027? Thank you, Hilary.
Thank you so much, Shamil, for that. Bundi, pick it up. I'm rushing because of time. Number two, there's so many people are requesting, guys. 100 people are requesting, so we want everybody to get a chance. So just bear with me. We can have
Thank
10
you.
questions, but take it up, Bundi.
Thank you, Hilary, for that. I think I'll be very fast asking those questions. Number one, Dr. Terry, you're one person whom I like in the philosophy of leadership is very likable. So I would like to ask a very, I think it's a question which is asked by most of the people about what will be your key deliverables in the first 100 days as the president? Because some of us are hoping that you're going to have that position. What are your key deliverables? Secondly, Dr. In your reign during the former government, the former administration, you took various positions and you made various decisions as a cabinet secretary. Do you still associate yourself with the decisions that you took, or maybe by the benefit of insight, you could have done better? And how is that going to be useful as you are going to be the president, or even have any position in the next government? Thank
Asante
you.
sana, Bundi. Aboge. Hey, my God. Aboge, you don't have questions and you're here. Rasji, pick it up.
Let me ask you, already those are like 25 questions. Can I respond to these questions?
Yeah, respond to them, Daktari.
Because,
Thank you so much. And give
we can go down the list of questions. They will end up being 50 or something. Already these are like 25 or so questions asked.
Daktari ujibu hizo alafu tufunge hii mkutano. Najua time
Hello?
yako imeenda sana. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think first of all, I think let me be a responsible leader and a responsible citizen, and say that I'll make myself available. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, I can hear you, Daktari. You are okay. You're audible enough.
Can see the level of interest in the discussion. I'll work with my office and the team to schedule another opportunity for interaction, because there are questions and issues to be addressed, and we can't shrug or hide from responsibility.
Sure.
So I'll start with Dolphin. And the question that Dolphin asked about the and the education sector, I think I've addressed some of those issues. But let me address the question of skills exportation and the cost of living. It is good for the country to have our citizens find employment and work elsewhere. We've just spoken about remittances. Look at countries like the Philippines, India, and so on, who have got skilled workers and employees to work elsewhere. Transfer of those skills sometimes helps our economy and helps us develop, but remittances also go a long way to contributing and supporting our economy. I don't have a problem with skilled labor from Kenya finding employment elsewhere. I have a problem with labor agencies from outside our country calling our people and employing them and taking them to fight in Ukraine. This is clearly illegal and essentially criminal. And it's unfortunate that some of these agencies have been given unfettered access to the country. They have conned and fraudulently recruited some of our people and subjected them to misery and suffering. It's very simple. In my view, this is not even a matter to debate. Is to tighten the space for the operation of those employment agencies and to ensure that as government, we do the right due diligence, we get the right people, and allow the right agencies to be involved. So that's what I would do. I mean, I would make it, you can't just, give Kenyans away like that. I'll make it very, very difficult for employment agencies that have not been properly checked, properly vetted by our government, and the host government or the governments on behalf of whom they're recruiting to recruit citizens of our country, and we will go by track record and what they do. That's what I think we need to do. On the cost of living, first of all, if government avoids the monumental waste that they engage in, there'll be more resources to go into development, and therefore, we'll slowly begin circulating money. We will review. I hope that I get the opportunity. I'll review the taxation regime in the country. We can't tax our way to progress, and some of this taxation or some of this increased taxation is as a result of the wastage and poor management of resources, which forces us sometimes to live outside, our ability or the ability of our economy. It's a question of abolishing some of the very unpopular programs we have gotten involved in that are not of direct benefit to the citizens, including, the housing levy and so on, so that Kenyan workers can enjoy the dignity of the pay slip again. They can have reason to wake up in the morning to go and work. Again, it is a question of disciplined government that focuses on the welfare of the people. Raphael, thank you that I have won your heart. We'll debate about that particular one of winning your heart because it's interesting in its own way, but thank you so much. About whether or not I'll be the opposition candidate, I think let's not cross the bridge before we come to it. Discussions are going on at the moment. I have faith that the right thing will be done. And if we are working together as a team, what it means logically to start with is that we are all going to be in one government. And we are discussing about positions. And at the right time, when we come to that bridge, we will cross it. But I am very confident that all factors held constant, I'll win the confidence of both my colleagues and the country to be the opposition flag bearer. But it's something that we will work together on, and we will continue to engage as leaders together and see how far we can go. What would we do in the agriculture sector? Subject it to a thorough review and review some of our regulation policies, and they introduce efficiency in management of some of our agricultural public policy sector. Because again, the sector has been invaded by too many quangles, too many political interests, to the detriment of the farmers, to the detriment of the sector as a whole. Billy, I intend to review the higher education funding model. If I'm elected,
Dr.
reviewing of the funding model include reviewing the entire funding system for higher education in the country and the management of the higher education sector as it is. Because let's face it, we have over-politicized the management of the higher education sector. We have universities that sometimes we may not be able to manage, as it were. So we need a very candid and a strong review of the sector to see, how far we can go in doing this. The issue of competent leaders in Jubilee, I have promised before, and we have agreed in NEC that we are going to run a ruthlessly open, efficient, and objective system of nomination. Only those people who are nominated and who win the nomination by members of the party will be the party's candidates. Because we cannot defeat ourselves by running a hopeless system of nomination. We'll do the best we can to have a system of nomination that gives us the best possible candidates. Of law and authority. Which one will I choose? Of course, I'll choose the rule of law. But the question is, it doesn't mean the key deliverables or what I intend to do in the first 100 days. I've talked about sitting down to review our tax system to reduce the burden on salaried workers. I honestly would like to look at the Privatization Act one more time within the first 100 days so that we can save some of our parastatals. I will introduce institutionalization in the management of the public service. There are certain things that this administration has done by executive order that are horrendous. A classic example is moving the authority of giving betting and gambling licenses to the office of the president. The president cannot be the one who gives licenses to gamblers in the country. I will sign an executive order the same day rescinding that decision, the same day I'm sworn in, to take that with rightful place, so that the office of the president is left to lead the country, not to get involved in permits, in licenses, and all manner of activities that end up sometimes entangling the office of the president in unnecessary corruption and unnecessary suspect dealings. I will review the entire infrastructure of the security sector within the first 100 days to recreate the multi-agency that we had, to reset and reorient our goal setting in terms of national security, so that we provide security to the country and ensure that our country is safe and sound. And then conduct a complete overhaul on service provision within the first 100 days with a view to introducing a public service delivery index for public servants, which we will all look at and ensure that public servants get the services they need
Daktari,
within the time that they should get the services.
Daktari, can you hear me?
Other things. And these are critical that we need to do in the
Daktari, can
first
you?
100 days, and we will do them. I think
Dak-
I would like to stop here, Hillary, if you don't
yeah,
mind,
yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah,
are quite
of course, but
spend a bit of time in the evening, with a promise that if you give me an opportunity next time, again, I'll come over and continue this engagement. Thank you very
any,
much for your time.
anytime daktari, and also hata Wamonyora anakuja hivi karibuni. Maverick, your last word daktari.
Hello, Doc. Before you bow out, I just want to say it's a singular honor collectively as hosts and participants rather of this space. The pleasure has been ours. I believe it has been efficacious. It has been a consequential interlocution. We hope to have many more of the same. We might have discussed the most paramount issues, but politics is intricate and it's malleable. Every day comes with a myriad of issues to address and a hodgepodge of discourses to pursue. I understand you're in Kajiado since morning, attended a church service at PEFA. You've been up and about, still made time to show up and engage Kenyans. But again, that is what leadership entails, sacrifice. Personally, I feel vindicated as far as I see of your meritocracy. You know, you've interacted at personal level. So I am proud that Kenyans get to listen and witness your cerebral wherewithal, your love for education and transformation. You know, especially my fans today get to comprehend why I champion for your candidature. So you have given us depth, your eloquence, and said snippets to pick from. What I can take today, my take home is discipline equals destiny. I think I'm going to pin that somewhere in my house. So thank you, co-hosts, all listeners, participants, and even the snitches that are within. Thank you. Over to you, Hilary.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daktari, for coming. This is the pressure point, and that's what you're hearing. And there's a lot of questions. Actually, I still have more than 50 people are requesting to just ask you questions. And we are so humbled to have you today. And every time when we'll communicate when you're free with the team, then again, we will host you. We need actually even all of you going forward so that we can hear what you're saying. But thank you so much for engaging with us. And we are so humble as Pressure Point team. And again, may God bless you for your endeavors and all the things that you want. We're just praying that may God lead everything. Thank you so much, guys. This is the Pressure Point. We are here every Sunday from 7 p.m. Today, we were having Dr. Matiang'I, but he's so busy also. But he engages with us around 3 hours. That is good. And we thank him so much. Co-host Maverick, thank you so much. Mutai, Abdi, Milton, all the team. Thank you so much for making sure these things are happening. And God bless you all, team, to make sure that the spaces are running smoothly. We are very sorry for those who didn't get a chance. You can do questions as much as you can, and we are going to share them to him. And then when he comes back next time, he's going to start with those questions. God bless you. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful morning, afternoon. It depends with the times that you are in. Make it alive all the time. Pressure Point. We are here and we're there all the time. Thank you. Bye for today.